Well, hello and welcome to the Reformed Review. This is Pastor Kevin O'Connor from Oak Grove Baptist Church, and I wanted to go through another devotion that I have. This is a diary of private prayer by John Baillie. If you don't know who John Baillie is, John Baillie was a Presbyterian minister, theologian, professor, taught at very prestigious schools in the early 1900s. He died, I think, around 1960. He was around 80 when he died. He was born in, I think, 1880 something. But I actually purchased this book years ago. It was a Thrift Books purchase. You can see the Thrift Books logo on it still. And this is not a daily devotional in that you're going to read through this every day for 365 days in a year. Actually, he wrote another book that is a companion to this book. It's called A Diary of Readings, which is actually a 365-day devotional. This one is very interesting in that it goes, I believe, let's see, 13 days. Let's see. And it gives you space to write your thoughts, your prayers out beside it. Okay? 20, let's see how many days we go to. Because it really is interesting how this worked. I think it's a 30-day journal. Might be 31 because it's adding a Sunday here. So it's a month, okay? And the way this one works, which is very interesting, and I love this little book, and I did not write in it when I first got it. I want to show you a few things about this little book. I want to read to you the instruction or the introduction, as it were. This is a book of personal devotions which compels a deep search of one's inner life. Dr. Baillie has written each prayer so that it has that rare quality of seeming to have been written for the reader personally to fit his own special needs. Here is an understanding of the aspect of God's relation to man, man's relation to God through prayer. Adoration, meditation, and intercession are mingled with a strong sense of social needs of the world, as well as the needs of the individual, all done with that perfect taste and feeling for worship for which Dr. Baillie is so widely recognized. In private prayer, if private prayer may be characterized as the wrestling of the soul with God, this book will be a real assistance in making that struggle not only easier, but more constructive. And I would have to agree with that assessment. The time that I actually went through this devotion, this little diary, it's really well made. It's a tiny little book, but it was handed down to Deborah Lloyd. I love when things are written in. This was copyrighted 1949. Now, as I want to read this to you, it says, "To Deborah Lloyd, blessings, may God's smile of love encircle your life as you venture forth in His will. Love, Betty and Harold," and I cannot see their last name being spelled. The handwriting is too small. It looks like Shillingy. And then they give Philippians 4:19 as a verse that she could go by. Starts out with a title page. You go to your by the same author. It has 4 other books that you can get: Reasoned Faith, Christian Devotion, A Diary of Readings, Our Knowledge of God. This is a diary of private prayer by John Baillie. Says it's for Ian. And then he has a few notes. Here are prayers for all the mornings and evenings of the months. and at the end of the book, 2 prayers. When any day falls on a Sunday, we may be substituted for others or else added to them. These prayers are to be regarded as aids. They are not intended to form the whole of the morning's or evening's devotion, or to take the place of more individual prayers for oneself and others. On the blank left-hand pages, such further petitions and intercessions may be noted down. The prayers are suited to private use, not to liturgical use of public worship. The little book has passed through many impressions since it was first published, but in none of these were any changes made apart from the correction of a few obvious misprints. The present edition has, however, been subject to a certain amount of revision, largely in light of comments received in correspondence. Now, this is how it begins. Morning, and you have John Baillie's prayer, and then you have a space for your own prayer. And I said, as I read through this the first time, I purposely did not write in those side pages. Now, I did highlight that I had went through that day. The evenings were great prayers as well. When you get to the evening, you have your evening prayer, and then you have a blank page to write your own prayers. Now, I want to give you just a taste of Dr. Baillie's prayer life and how he wrote his prayers down here. This is morning of the first day. Eternal Father of my soul, let my first thought today be of Thee. Let my impulse be to worship Thee. Let my first speech be Thy name. Let my first action be to kneel before Thee in prayer. For Thy perfect wisdom and perfect goodness. For the love wherewith Thou lovest mankind. For the love wherewith Thou lovest me. For the great and mysterious opportunity of my life, for the indwelling of the Spirit in my heart, for the sevenfold gifts of Thy Spirit, I praise and worship Thee, O Lord. Yet let me not, with this morning prayer, when this morning prayer is said, think my worship ended, and spend the day in forgetfulness of Thee. Rather, from these moments of quietness, let light go forth, and joy and power that will remain with me through all the hours of the day. Keep me chaste in thought. Keep me temperate and truthful in speech. Keep me faithful and diligent in my work. Keep me humble in my estimation of myself. Keep me honorable and generous in my dealings with others. Keep me loyal to every hallowed memory of the past. Keep me mindful of my eternal destiny as a child of Thine. O God, who hast been the refuge of my fathers through many generations, be my refuge today in every time and circumstance of need. Be my guide through all that is dark and doubtful. Be my guard against all that threatens my spirit's welfare. Be my strength in times of testing. Gladden my heart with Thy peace, through Jesus Christ my Lord. Amen. And that's just a little taste of this precious little book that I have come to love the way that Dr. Baillie prayed. I have highlighted several times prayers that really affected me, prayers that taught me, as it were, to pray with right understanding of who it is I'm talking to and what I'm actually should be praying for in times of spiritual desert where prayers seem far and fleeting and heaven's vault seems shut to me. I turned to this little devotion, and it has helped spark in me my love for prayer and my love to go to the Father and my desire to pray more earnestly, more vigorously. I can't recommend this book any greater. Now, I know I was going to do my Alistair Begg devotions, but if I was going to place another book alongside Spurgeon in how it moved me to pray, it's this little book that will move you to prayer. He said it's not to supplement, it's not to replace your prayers. And I have found every time I have picked this little book up and I've read from it, that it drives me, it urges me to pray further, to go deeper in prayer after I have read. After I have listened to Dr. Baillie's prayer, I have felt my soul inclined to reach out to God all the more and seek after Him all the more. I want to commend this little book to you. I don't know if you can even get it anymore, okay? But if it is possible for you to find one, it would be an enormous blessing to you. So there it is. That's, I almost felt like I was trying to sell that book, but man, I can't tell you how much this little book meant to me. If you were to talk to my wife, she would have told you that this little book spurred months and months and months of me really understanding how I needed to pray more, how my prayers needed to mean more, how I needed to be really, expecting my prayers to be heard and to dig in while I was in my prayer closet. And I want to encourage you to get this little book if at all possible. I'm going to go on here and see if I can find a link to one right now. I don't know if they're even available anymore. I really wish some publisher would pick this little book back up and publish it again. I'm not even sure who published it the first time. New York, Charles Scribner's Sons. That's who published this one. I doubt they're even in business anymore. But if they are, they need to reprint this book because it is an absolute gem. All right, that's all for this time. Remember, I want you to find a Bible that you love, a Bible that you'll read, and also find you some good devotions that will help you in prayer, in study, and in practical Christian living. God bless you, friends. We'll see you next time.